Good morning, everybody. We're here at the Red Horse Bed and Breakfast, and we're about to start working on this short film. We got about 7 hours before we have to be rolling, so time to pre-light, get all the gear set up, and get rolling. I'm pretty excited, so let's start. It's a gorgeous day out here. I love the weather. It's so nice to be actually out of the studio and into the nice New Mexico weather. Really excited for this. As you can see, I took the amount of equipment to make this production happen. We got about 7 different light sources, 2 cameras in the car, everything we're gonna need to do it. So it's time to get all this stuff inside, start getting prepped, and then we also gotta start pre-rigging for tonight, especially a lot of the night work we're gonna be doing. We have to rig lights onto trees and just get all that kind of prepped up and ready. We also got our generator here. This is a solar powered generator, so it's gonna be really nice for Luke for audio, so he doesn't have to deal with the generator sounds. Supposedly it's gonna be about 10 days of battery, according to the people who we rented it from. So we'll see how true that is once we start getting all the lights plugged in, but I'm excited to have some power, excited not to have to just run off of the V-mount, so we're gonna have to get this over to our other space and get all the lights plugged in. Trip one of probably many. I'm glad we got 7 hours to go because we're gonna need the time. I'd be lying a little bit if I was saying I wasn't nervous for tonight. We have a lot to get done and a lot to film. We have almost 7 pages to do and only about 5 hours to do it. Plus we're working with a lot of actors, child actors, people who aren't that experienced, and we have hard outs on people, and we have a ton of stuff to light. Right now it is 12:20, and oh boy, we gotta be ready for picture up at 5 p.m. So I'm a little nervous, but we're gonna get this done. We're gonna make something awesome, so let's do it. Okay, so everything's loaded inside right now. We got all the lighting gear kind of pushed into this corner, camera gear's pushed into this corner. I think it's kind of funny to me how we have such a little like camera gear pile and have a huge lighting pile, but that's how things go, especially night work. We have 9 different fixtures here to be able to light this night exterior. So some might think that's a lot, but actually it's not that much when you have to consider how large of a space we have to light. We really want one giant moonlight and then some little stuff to create pockets of light. We want to have slashes across the tree and we're really trying to emulate that full moon look. One really important thing with emulating moon to me is really large diffused sources kind of far away and high up. And to be able to do that, I'm using a lot of these umbrellas, mostly because I don't have lanterns, but I like the umbrellas because they create a soft diffused light source, but they're not as narrow as soft boxes. So because I don't own 7 different lanterns, we're using this as kind of most of our lighting to create these pockets, and we're going to be stationing 3 kind of moonlights across a wide area to light this field, with one 500 watt light really high up with a lantern on it, and then we'll use some infinity bars mounted up on trees to kind of work as this like backlight to really create the pool that we're going to be working in. So our first big step is to go ahead and go outside and start pre-rigging all of this lighting work. So we're going to go get some ladders and get ready to do that. Our first big step is to head out to this location to figure out where these lights are going, then we'll get the ladders and ratchet traps and go on. The big things we're using are these baby pin plates. So these will go to the trees, and then we can mount infinity bars off of these baby pin plates. So they just have a baby pin here, and then we can just mount the light straight onto it. The hope with this is to stick them about 8 to 10 feet up, just so it still feels like moonlight. It's out of our shot, out of our frame, and we're not having to worry about it. It's nice that we definitely have a couple hours to be able to finesse this, but this project's really different that we're working with such a small crew. We only have like 5 people on the whole crew list, which is a little hard because generally I'd be working as a DP to go ahead and, you know, work with my gaffer and the team to figure out where these lights to go, while my first AC would be prepping the camera. Since I'm the grip, the gaffer, the first, everything like that, I'm having to figure out all of this and then have to go get the cameras prepped. I do have a B-cam op, but he's not getting here till about 30 minutes before we have to start shooting, and he's pretty much gonna tackle his own stuff. So I have to work on all this, getting all the cameras fully figured out before we do this. So I think this is like a really cool area over here, especially kind of this ditch look. I think for me, the first like major thing I'm thinking about is like which angles do we want to look at, and I think personally this is a pretty cool angle. It definitely feels foresty, forest packed and all of that stuff. So I think it's kind of figuring out where we want this moonlight to come. I like the idea of sticking a huge moonlight kind of right in here. This will be our 500, stuck really high up and giving like the big moonlight glow to this space. I'm never gonna get over how gorgeous it is here at the farm. I love being out here. It's always such a fun place to film, and it's just gorgeous being outdoors in the sun. I really don't feel like I'm in Albuquerque when I come out here, so that's always like a nice plus. Okay, we got our ladder, gotta get started rigging with this guy, so we're probably gonna head over to the other side of the farm right now and get ready to start hanging some lights. Working as a real grip today.
It sounds like this is a real man.
DP roll here today. I'm not just telling people where to put stuff, I'm getting my hands dirty. It's going good. We're, tweaking out the last little bits of stuff we really need to do. I got a little twist in my ratchet going on, unfortunately. So I just need to get that undone, and then hopefully we'll be good to start getting this all hooked into the tree. Here we're going to be mounting the aperture infinity bars. These are going to be our backlights. Yeah, I've done this a bunch of times with these bars, so I'm really excited to do this again. Never really done this at night, but I love mounting these bars in a lot of places, and it's great. Other nice part about all this stuff is that you can control it all from your phone, so I won't have to climb up onto this ladder every single time we need to adjust something. Get to pair them with my phone, put them up here, and then I can just do all I need right off my phone. Our baby pin plates have been hung into the trees. We are ready to go. Time to move the generator over, and then we'll be ready to go ahead and prep all the camera stuff. I'm pretty excited that we got all of the pre-lighting done. That's kind of the really big thing that I was kind of worried about. We got about 4.5 hours right now to go until we can start fully shooting. So we got enough time. I probably got about an hour left of prep work that I need to do before we can then kind of chill out and work on the shot list. I think this project was an interesting one, specifically because we found out we were going to be shooting it Friday evening and we have weekends off. So we haven't really had time to prep. So as we get ever so closer to this nighttime scene, we have to start running extension cords to be able to light everything. So I got a couple right here. We're gonna go ahead and run these stingers. I got about a 25 foot and 100 foot. So the 100 foot's gonna run to hit the tree line in the back, while this 50 foot's gonna run to hit some little lights on the sides. Currently dealing with the downsides of improperly wrapping cables. Quickly rushing cables might seem like the best option in the moment, but sometimes it's something you need to take the few minutes to do, because you run into issues like this where then on set you can't just drop the cable and go. You have to spend 15 minutes figuring out how to run it. This area has kind of concluded all of the prep that we can really do that we need for the night work. We got the trees pre-rigged so the lights can just kind of go into them. We got the jennies out here. I'm gonna wait till we put all the lights up, because we'll actually need some of them for the other scene that we're gonna be doing. We're just gonna kind of leave this be for a second. We're gonna go inside, get a couple things set up, get the cameras dialed in, and we'll be good to go. So unfortunately we lost the audio for this part, but right now I am setting up the camera. So I'm setting up the Sony Venice 1. I also have a set of the Canon FD lenses, a 28-50, 170 to 210. I love these lenses because they're soft, but they also have a nice amount of contrast. They feel really horror-y to me. There's the same glass and coatings in them as we're using in the K35s, which are one of the all-time Hollywood cinema lenses used on films like Alien. Once we have this camera all set up, we are ready to go ahead and start shooting.
Before we were on set, we rehearsed from 1 to 3:30. It was a great rehearsal because we had Tiffany Cole, and she's an award-winning actress, and so she was really able to give some great insight, and everyone was very a part of the process. I don't like being the one telling everyone what to do all the time. I like when people chip in with their ideas and their opinions, because film is a collaborative effort, and so during the rehearsal process we were able to do that together and talk about the subtext in more depth, and flush out where the beats would be and where we would want to have some stronger emotion throughout the dialogue.
So we were finally ready to start shooting. We got the camera out there, we got lenses on, we were zooted up and ready to go. For me, this was a very scary kind of moment, as we only really had about an hour to shoot this nearly 4-page scene. Generally, this is a scene that I feel like we would spend 6 hours on a more traditional set. You get like 2 takes per actor, and then you're flipping sides. One thing that I think really saved us here is that we had a BKM operator that really allowed me to focus on one of the people while he got the other two, and then I could swing around and change sides to get someone else, and he could get all the inserts. So we really got everything within like 4 takes, which I think really saved us on time instead of having to spend like 2 or 3 hours if we were just a single cam setup. As soon as we finished this kind of like main scene with the adults, we moved on to the beginning of the film where the kids are hearing the story that's building up for the horror creature that they will be seeing later in the film. There wasn't really anything that we changed in terms of the camera for this part. I ended up getting a nice wide establishing shot where my BCam operator stayed to get tights on the kids as they listened to the story. Once we finished that setup, I moved in to get a tight on the grandmother while she was telling the story, while my BCam op got a extreme close-up on each of the kids listening.
So the original script was written probably for more 8 to 10-year-olds who have some acting experience, and when I ended up meeting the kids that we would be working with, I also had no idea that they would be 4. I thought they were going to be around the age range I just mentioned. So we definitely had to be flexible and resourceful to rework the script so that we could still tell a story without them essentially saying any lines at all.
As soon as we finished that, we moved into the evening scene where the incredible Tiffany Cole delivers a killer performance as she screams as she loses her kids. This was really just a couple take scene. I got a nice wide as we got everyone's reactions while my BCam operator got the tight on Tiffany, and then we moved into the night work. This night work was a really quick go, go, go because the kids had a hard out and we really only had about an hour to get all of that. Plus we still had some of the lighting to readjust and finesse since we'd never seen the world dark. We lit everything when it was 2 p.m. So it was the first time seeing this set at night. So we quickly rushed to get everything set up, started rolling. There was a lot of new challenges posed, especially with this hard limit and having child actors who might not always constantly understand direction. So Cheska did an incredible job simplifying to the brain of a 4-year-old, and with Cheska's direction and having very supportive parents that were there to help get that performance out of them, we ended up getting the snippets of beats that we needed to be able to make the cut happen.
In the end, I think it's still going to work, and I still think you're going to be spooked. However, it would be great to use this to flesh out proof of concept for one that brings in some older kids that were able to get those lines in, because ultimately I think with those scenes it drives up the tension a lot more and drives up the horror. But I think what we got and what we were working with, I think it's gonna look really cool, and it still looks beautiful. You did a great job lighting it. And also, you know, like, thank you to all the actors, the parents, everybody who really, this was a team effort to really get these kids focused and get them in the certain areas or in a certain zone that matched with what we were going for. And so it's definitely, I guess if I was gonna have a tip for anybody who's working with really young actors, is to actually write something, and when I say young, I mean like under 7 years old, have an entire day to work out maybe a couple pages, if anything, so they can take multiple breaks, because they need them.
Rushing against the clock, we really only had about 6 minutes to get the final closing shots of them in this kind of like cabin. So me and my BCam op quickly worked to relight. This is definitely something I would love to work on more in bigger shorts that we do for the channel, is having a more fleshed out team. So it's not 2 people working to relight, but we actually have a full lighting team to redo this. But once we got everything moved, we were able to get the final closing shot, and we wrapped out for the night with a successful finished product that will be coming out to this YouTube channel in just a few weeks, hopefully.